Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we finally have our hands on this incredible brand new Dino Riders set from Mattel, and I could not be more excited. This is something that was revealed quite a ways back, and I had it pre-ordered for a very long time waiting for it to finally ship, and it has now officially obviously shipped. It is here again for us to take a look at right now. And straight away, look at how beautiful the box art here is on the front of the box. Like, this is the type of box when you get it in your possession, you just do not throw the box away. It's just so beautiful. That is some of the most incredible artwork you're probably going to find as far as like that really cool vintage feel of dinosaurs. And just generally, if you are a fan of Dino Riders, that box art really takes you back and just is an incredible addition to the set straight away before even seeing the figures. Just the box art alone is absolutely magnificent. But we can also see, of course, it is called the Rulon Warriors Battle Pack, and then you can see down here kind of a sneak peek of some of the figures that are included within this set. And then if we take a look up here, we have yet another image showing us again the figures that are included. And then if we turn it around, we now have the same image here on the back as far as that very nice image of the Dino Riders that we saw on the front, and then again kind of like a list of some of the characters and species that are included, as well as some information here about the set and Dino Riders itself. So I am super excited. It's not every day that we get a Dino Riders figure to take a look at, or numerous Dino Riders figures, but again, it's something that we don't get very often. It's been a very long time since we've seen a new Dino Riders figure at all, and the fact that Mattel has made this really has me excited for the potential of them maybe making a Dino Riders line. I would love to see that with how incredible their work has been on the Jurassic World line. Imagine a Mattel Dino Riders line. Man, that's the stuff dreams are made of. But regardless, let's go ahead, get this box open, and take a look at this first offering from Mattel as far as these Dino Riders figures go. So once you pull it open, you have them all kind of just sitting here within this plastic set here. You can see all the different figures that are included, and I can tell you with complete confidence, without even giving you the closer look quite yet, these figures are unbelievably well detailed, like ridiculously nice. And I understand that Mattel always does a great job. They've done a great job with the Jurassic World line, but kind of just looking at those preview images, you don't realize just how highly detailed these figures are really going to be until you have them here in person. They look absolutely beautiful, so I'm going to pop each of these guys out, and then we'll take a look at them from there. So now, inside the packaging, as you saw, there were quite a few of like these standalone little figures between the Valorians and the Rulons, and they kind of had like a base. Well, there was also a bag that had a bunch of the figures kind of in seated positions that were just sitting in a little bag at the top. So you are actually given those figures to apply to the different dinosaurs and put them in the different areas where they would be seated to help, again, fight the battle here that is going on between the Valorians and the Rulons. And you can see now as I bring these in that I have actually put those figures in place on the different seats and everything, so that we can just take a look at them kind of all together here on the figures themselves. And that would probably be, I think, the easiest way overall to take a look at these figures. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get a closer look at each of these right now. So first of all, we have our pterodactyl, which is quite clearly a pteranodon. And again, look at the incredible detail that is included. Like, you could see a really beautiful textured appearance to the skin here on the head of the pteranodon, and everything is really nicely sculpted out overall. You can also see, of course, another one of the figures down here that is flying in with its Pterosaur, quite clearly one of the Valorians, and you could see the underside of the Pterosaur as well. Again, these things are just like aching for a repaint because the detail is so beautiful on the figures. And this is one area I feel like, as far as the Pterosaur goes, that you can really get a good idea of how beautiful that detail is overall. You can see the skin texture there in the skin flaps of the wings. It is just phenomenal on this Pterosaur when it comes to a figure of this size. Even the skin texture here on the body of the Pterosaur is ridiculously nice. So the figures as a whole, I think they're so much better detail-wise than I expected them to be. I mean, I expected them to be pretty nice, but I don't think I was quite as prepared as I should have been for how nice they truly are. That Pterosaur looks really, really good, and I love, again, the fact that the Valorian is hanging here on the underside, flying into battle with its Pterosaur. Really, really cool overall, and it actually balances quite nicely due to that right there. You can, once you actually set it down, well, it's not going to balance too well in my hand, but once you set it down, you can see it balances really nicely, so absolutely awesome Pterosaur. Then we have the one that is said to be a Saurolophus, but I think it looks a little more like a Parasaurolophus than a Saurolophus. Regardless, you can see it looks beautiful again, sculpt-wise and detail-wise, just like we had seen on the Pterosaur. You can see that that skin texture in the head looks fantastic. You have a really nicely sculpted out beak there at the front of the mouth. The crest up here on the top of the head also sports a really nice textured appearance. We have one of the Rulons up here on the back of the Saurolophus. And you can see even the area where the Rulon sits, it's really nicely sculpted. Even looking at, like, as we move it here in the light, you can see a really nice textured appearance, even to, like, right here. It's really, really beautifully and very highly detailed. As we move back along the side of the Saurolophus, you can continue to see some really, really nice detailing within the body of the dinosaur. Beautiful musculature on the figure as well. It overall is very, very highly detailed, even on the underside. Again, these figures, being just one solid color, is like the only downside I could think of to these figures at all. I would have really liked to have seen some like actual paint application on the figures, but even still, I'm so happy to just have something from Dino Riders. I can't complain in any way, shape, or form. You can see the really nice musculature displayed throughout the dinosaur, and again, this figure is also beautiful. We're not going to, of course, speak on scientific accuracy, because that's something with Dino Riders you're not going to find. And this is actually one of the figures that is removable. You can pull him up, out, and then you can have your little Rulon figure here on its own. He in his own right is really nicely detailed. Like, you could see some beautiful detail included within this very, very small figure, and he's super tiny, which you can see right there, and they kind of sit back into his seat. So they stay in there really, really nicely, too. You can see he does not fall out, so that as well is another huge plus on the part of this figure. Really nice and sturdy within the dinosaur and the area that he sits. Then we also have our Triceratops, which you can see right here. Very, very nicely detailed, just like all of the others so far. You can see this one actually has a little bit of headgear on it. Even the horns on the head of the Triceratops are really nicely sculpted out overall. Of course, we are missing the horn here on the snout of the Triceratops, but again, accuracy is not something that you take into consideration when speaking about Dino Riders. The fact that the show consisted of species from all the different eras of dinosaurs. The Triceratops looks great, really nice skin texture all throughout the figure. There's something weird going on here in the throat. I don't know what that is. Looks like maybe some dried glue or something. But very nice musculature here in the legs that you can see. Some beautiful texturing to the skin. Really nice scale detail all the way out here onto the tail. And then moving up here, you can again see another one of our Rulon figures. And he looks very, very cool. Even though the hands are kind of in the position like they're controlling the dinosaur, they're actually kind of up off of the area that he sits. So he doesn't look like he's perfectly controlling the dinosaur unless he's using some sort of an invisible lever to do so. But you can also see, again, how incredible the figure looks on this side. Really, really beautiful figures. I just really wish there was some more paint application to them other than solid colors, but I do like the fact that they've given the Rulons this purple and then the Valorians a green so that you can differentiate the two when they're heading into battle quite easily. And then we have actually some more of these Rulon figures you could see here as they are carrying some weapons and stuff. They have a little base included so that they stand quite nicely. No issues as far as that goes. So as far as displaying this set, you have many options to do so when it comes to how you want to position your figures and your Rulons fighting your Valorians. You know, there's a lot to do that you can position them and kind of display them within the figures themselves in the set overall when you are, again, creating your battle scene. And then we have some more of the Valorians down here. Again, loading up some weapons, just generally in mid-battle, showing how awesome these figures are. Again, Mattel has absolutely knocked it out of the park as far as this set goes, if you ask me. Really cool additions are those guys. And then we have our Dynamicus, which I actually just knocked the guy out of the top here. But you have our Dynamicus here, again, very cool looking, pretty darn big in comparison to some of the other dinosaurs that we have in this set. So
Again, accuracy right out the window, but you can see that this one also sports some beautiful texturing to the skin, really nice wrinkles in the neck there, beautiful scale detail on the face. Once again, we have some headgear on the Deinonychus. You have your Valorian up here on the top, again controlling the dinosaur. Again, they're all in a green coloration so that they match quite nicely. You have some fantastic musculature there in the leg of the Deinonychus, as well as a really nice foot sculpt with, of course, the sickle claw. Beautiful scoots down the foot that you can see down there, down on the toes. And then you have the very nice tail up here as we lead up into the back of the dinosaur. Beautiful texturing again to the tail, lots of creases in the skin. Some dark washes would really do these figures wonders. You can see even the underside of the feet is really nicely detailed. Of course, the top of the figure as well looks fantastic, and yet again, even though I kind of knocked him out there, you can see they stay in there quite nicely, nice and solid, so there's no issues as far as the Valorians or the Rulons falling out of the dinosaurs. And then this one actually does not tell you exactly what sauropod species it's supposed to be on the back of the packaging, but my guess would probably be a Diplodocus, because that's kind of what it looks like it's insinuating to me, but who knows. But looking at the head sculpt, that is an absolutely beautiful looking head sculpt. You can really see the nostrils, the eyes, everything. It's all sculpted out so beautifully on something so small. Very impressive on the part of Mattel. Lots of really nice creases in the neck, and the entire dinosaur seems to have like a line of ridges that run down along the back of the neck as well, and then you get down here, and this one, of course, being a much larger dinosaur, has more Valorians here included. You've got one here in the front, one on the side, and then actually one on the opposing side that you just kind of slide them into the dinosaur there, and it looks incredibly cool. Again, more fantastic creasing, really, really beautiful skin texture throughout the dinosaur, but some nice creasing there as the neck connects to the body as it reaches the body right there. Beautiful leg sculpt, really nice musculature displayed in both the front and rear legs. You can see the kneecap is present here on the back, the elbow is present on the front. Beautiful foot sculpts as well, also including the sculpting of the nails, which again, adding some paint to these figures, they would look incredible. You can see the ridges end right here, and then we run out the rest of the tail with just the tail, no ridges. It looks beautiful out here though, as well. Again, some more incredible looking skin texture, just like the others. Even the underside is very highly detailed, and then you can of course see our Valorians hanging out in here, and there is quite a bit going on as far as like the detailing aspect of up here in this area as well. And you can just generally see it looks absolutely unbelievable, and again, as awesomely vintage as it gets, really taking me back to my childhood as far as this Dino Riders set goes from Mattel, and of course being, I believe, an Entertainment Earth exclusive. It is just probably one of the coolest dinosaur releases that has come out in a very long time. And then the final one would be the Tyrannosaurus Rex, of course, being led by Krulos up here, and you can see him looks absolutely awesome as well. And then you've got another one of the Rulon back here, but the Rex also looks incredible. Really nice scale detail here that you can see on the face. You can also see the teeth are sticking out here at the kind of mouth area that you can see a little bit, because this one also has some headgear up here on the top, but it almost runs down into the mouth to where you can't see the teeth or anything sticking out back here, but you can see it in the front of the mouth. It's even opened up a little bit here in the front. The teeth look really good. Nice nostrils sculpted out as well. You can also see the eyes, the headgear as well. Looks really cool as you move down into the body. You've got those really nice Rex arms. Again, the gear here on the top looks really cool as far as the detailing aspect goes, as do the Rulons themselves, Krulos and everything. They all look awesome. And then coming down here into the legs, you can see some absolutely massive thighs and calves. Really nice muscular legs to the dinosaur. Really nice foot sculpt. Again, very nice scoots down the toes, beautifully sculpted out nails. We lead out the length of the tail. The tail has a really nice curve to it. Some more creasing in the skin. It just generally looks absolutely beautiful. The underside also looks really, really good. Even the underside of the lower jaw, as we get closer here, if it'll focus, you can see some absolutely beautiful scale detail in that area as well. And then the opposing side also looks incredibly, incredibly beautiful. And just like I stated this whole time, again, the figures stay in there really well. They do not fall out unless maybe you'd smash them off a wall or something, but just standing here, kind of shaking them, you can see they aren't going nowhere. So it's nice and sturdy, and overall a very nice, very high quality feel to the figures. It is unfortunate as well that we don't have any kind of like articulation or anything, like they're just solid figures overall, but I think that the entire set is just absolutely beautiful, regardless of the fact that we again have just solid colors and no articulation. They're still beautiful, beautiful figures.
As far as a size goes, the figures are definitely quite small, which I think at this point you've probably figured that much out, but we're not going to measure each and every figure. We'll just kind of hold the tape measure over here in this spot to really give you a good idea. Like for a length on the, what I would imagine is a Diplodocus, you're looking at about 7.5 inches or 19 centimeters, maybe a little over actually, more like 19.5 centimeters. And like the Deinonychus, you're looking at around the 3-inch range. So, you know, not super, super big figures. They're pretty small overall, but for their size, they sport some absolutely mind-bogglingly nice detailing on them. And for a size comparison to further show you how small they are, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex along with some other Mattel figures here, which we have the Colovosaurus from the Attack Pack Jurassic World figures and Mr. Robert Muldoon back there as well. Again, showing you that these figures overall do sport a smaller size in general, but I think honestly they're maybe a little more impressive due to the smaller size because they are so insanely highly detailed that the smaller size, I feel like now, showing you just how small they are, it's just unbelievable how much detail Mattel has managed to cram into these beautiful Dino Riders figures. Again, giving you even more reason to love this set. So this Mattel Dino Riders Entertainment Earth Rulon Warriors Battle Pack is incredibly beautiful. I was quite confident from the start that I was going to love this set. I really didn't think otherwise, but actually having them here in person, even with the confirmation that there is no articulation, which I didn't look too into them when I had initially seen the images and kind of saw that this was being released, I just immediately pre-ordered it because it's Dino Riders. I knew I wanted it, but I was kind of hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, that maybe there was some articulation, some playability with the figures, even though I don't play with the figures, I just display and collect them, but I was still hoping, that there would be some articulation, which would open up some possibilities as far as displaying the figures, but alas, there is none. There is no articulation on these figures at all. There is also no coloration to them other than the solid color of green for the Valorians and purple for the Rulons, but regardless, they are incredible without the articulation, without any real body color or anything like that, any type of detailed paint application. What we have here is just straight to the point. They're Dino Riders figures. They're solid color Dino Riders figures, and that in its own right is awesome. I cannot argue with the overall awesomeness of any Dino Riders release, and even with, again, the few slight downsides that I've mentioned, these figures still manage to be absolutely beautiful. You could see each and every one of the figures included are very highly detailed, and for the size, impressively well detailed. The skin texture and everything is just fantastic on these figures. They're pretty much screaming for some real paint application to be included, and I think they would look jaw-dropping with actual paint application included. But again, the detail is just so good, not only on the different species here as far as like the dinosaurs and the pterosaur and stuff, but even on the smaller figures like the Valorians and the Rulons. The detail is just off the charts on every ounce of this set. And at only the $20 price range to be able to get yourself an entire set of Dino Riders figures, again, what's cooler than that? Because I can't think of much, if anything, that's better than an entire set of Dino Riders figures for $20. And then it's really cool also, I think, the fact that they've included 3 different species, not of dinosaurs, but of prehistoric creatures. Like the Valorians have 3 different species with the Diplodocus, the Deinonychus, and the Pterosaur. And then the Rulons have their Triceratops, the Saurolophus, and then, of course, the trademark Tyrannosaurus. And then you also have 3 different figures of Valorians just kind of standing there with like weapons and stuff, and then 3 different figures of Rulons with their weapons. So it's really like, evened out as far as what you get from each side of the battle occurring before you. But again, I cannot stress enough that these figures are fantastic in every possible way. So make sure if you are interested that you check the description, as I will have a link right there to Entertainment Earth, where you can head on over there right now and pick this set up for yourself. So make sure you check the description, go buy this fantastic Dino Rider set, and make sure you also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.